But it declares this in Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16. I just want to read it to you. It says this: "For fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall their children be put to death for their fathers. A person shall be put to death for his own sin." The same thing happens in Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 20. They make the same statement. And a son should not die for his father's sin. Now here's the issue. When we look at our text here in Romans, it says this: "For until the law, sin was in the world." So even though it wasn't written down, it wasn't annotated, it still was there. There was a law in the conscience, a law in the hearts, a law simply through creation. But there is an important verse in verse 20 of Romans 5 that says this. Jump down there, follow the flow if you will. "Moreover, the law entered," the law became written down, understood, the law entered that the offense might abound. So that what? There's no excuses. So just in case, well, I don't think that really was, because my conscience, I thought it was okay. Where eventually your conscience, you're just lying to yourself. Your conscience already knows it's something that you shouldn't do. Eventually you do it often enough, your conscience gets hardened and it doesn't bother you anymore. But initially that first thing is, should I do it? Should I not do it? You don't want to have to go through that situation. But once you commit to it, then all of a sudden it's there. But I do want you to understand that sin is not imputed in the same way. So as we look at verse 13 and verse 14, "For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed." In other words, it's not imputed in the legal sense when there is no law. You're still guilty of it, but it's not written down, and you don't have this, in other words, like the judgment written against you. You failed in this law, thus here's the consequence. Because it's not written, it says that the sin, the type of sin that's in the law, is not imputed when there is no law.